Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, here to talk about the best controller settings in NBA 2K23. Now the reason I am here at the menu and not already showing you the controller settings is because I want to talk about my way of going about controller settings before we get into this. First and foremost, we all know how annoying the controller settings are this year. When you go into the game, every time you refresh off a dashboard, aka if I literally do this and quit out of my 2K app and load it back up the next time, it is still not going to load up my controller settings that I have saved, whether it's from the menu or when I'm in the My Career. So I'm going to be conventional with this and not come in here and then go to controller settings as far as like from the menu, because I'm going to be real with you, I do not remember to change these every single time I load up. And what I prefer to do is literally just load in here, and then if I remember to do it right here or remember to do it right before I play, I will prefer to just do it like that. There's not a lot of controller settings that cannot be changed or reset from here versus doing it at the menu. There's very minimal changes. First and foremost, what we obviously want to change the most is going to be your shot meter getting turned from on to off. Now there may be some select people who are watching this that prefer to leave it on, so more power to you. It's obviously not even going to hurt you. If anything, the less you can change your controller settings this year, the better. I'm trying to show most of you guys the mandatory changes, but nonetheless, with that in mind, that's also how I feel about shot timing release. Now, for me, I have still shot the ball in this game. I have a build with 83 3-pointer. It was my 1v1 build. I shot 58% on that as well. And the whole point of what I'm trying to get at here is I preferred to leave it on late for that exact reason of if I forgot to change my controller settings, I would at least not be trolled out of my mind. Because let me tell you guys, when I have teammates who are used to stuff like this, where they change their timing to very early, and then all of a sudden, because their stuff did not get reset, instead of being set to very early and off, they are now on for the shot meter and set to late. Let me tell you how 50 those dudes are. They shoot the absolute worst I've ever seen in any video game. It's hilarious to see because they're not used to their meter being on, and then when it flashes up, they're all scared of it, and then when they also get the late release timing instead of the very early, it really just trolls them like crazy. All right, next up we have passing. Now I'm gonna stay on this for a very short amount of time, but we do have some at the bottom as well between the openness and directional sliders and stuff like that. But nonetheless, for icon passing, if you change this to pass type control setting, you're gonna be able to double tap someone's icon for a bounce pass. The advanced passers are gonna love this mechanic. And then if you do want to high pass somebody, maybe float it over the defense, you can hold their icon. Now the problem with that is exactly that. That is what completely trolls this icon passing pass type control setting, is if you barely, I'm talking for 0.25 seconds, hold someone's icon, then it'll throw those overhead super lobbed up passes where they're really high. And the problem with that is when you try and just regular tap someone's icon to just pass it to them normally, it will do that very occasionally unless you're very, very quick to just tap it. Simple as that. If you barely hold it, it will troll you. So just want to make you guys aware of that. It's a pretty cool setting though. Not to mention, pretty cool setting, we also have pro stick pass type. So if you hold your right bumper or R1, you're actually able to pull up your icons, obviously. And when you do that, you can just point your right stick in the direction that you want it to throw to, and it will flashy pass to somebody. It's a really cool function. It does mean you can't dribble when you have your icons up though, so just keep that in mind. You can obviously use your left stick, but can't use any right stick movements if you have the pro stick pass type to flashy. I honestly think you might just do that anyway though with a normal, but nonetheless, it's a pretty cool little mechanic. And if you pair that flashy with running openness, it's actually pretty interesting because then it'll just flashy pass to whoever's most open. It's really weird. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, some people don't think this works in online modes. It absolutely does. I've used it in Pro-Am. I personally prefer to run this as well because I generally prefer to icon people anyway. So with that in mind, when I prefer to icon them, the only time I really do press my A button is to just randomness guess openness. And it is pretty bot mode. I do think it should get taken out of the game in a way anyway, but I do prefer that 100%. Now what we're really here to talk about is your defensive assist strength. That's probably what the main focus of the video is. It obviously loads you up at 50. I am telling you guys, like I didn't want to make this change early in the year. I wanted to just rock out with 50 because it was obviously the default, and I was like, the less that I have to change when I load up, the better. It is what it is. Nah, man, this is something I have to change every single time I load the game up now. Defensive assist all the way down to 0. I'm gonna show you some clips of it with 0. You can compare it to the clips that you maybe have, or just memory bank that you have of having 50 assist strength on your defense, and it is like game changing. You really have to try this. It's so much more responsive. It's so much more just able to play defense, more reactionary, all types of stuff like that. The theory is that you don't get as many bumps if you have it on 0, but I can show you plenty. I'll show you this little quick collage of clips that I have saved up that we're gonna talk about in a different video for defensive techniques. All right, so real quick, I want to go into this allowing you guys to remember this is going to be for defensive techniques, so there will be some things that I just want to show that aren't really intended for the video, but nonetheless I want to show you the defensive movement. You can compare this to what you're used to with 50 if you're maybe someone that only has to 50 and has never changed down to 0. Look at the defense that you can play reactionary wise off the jump. Look at how much faster my guy is moving from side to side, probably compared to what you've been used to. Look at this, just the up and down movements, cutting them off clean. Again, this is really good fast defense, and that's the key if you ask me. And as you can see, speaking of fast, we speeded up right here because he was holding on to the ball. My guy does the most absolute stupid rebound animation I've ever seen in my life, and nonetheless, we're back on defense with it again. I'm going to be trying to cut him off once again. As far as the defensive techniques and stuff like that, you can see I'm baiting the jump shots a lot in this one. Nonetheless, though, still bumpy. It still can get the bumps. Obviously, he has no adrenaline. That's the whole point, though. We obviously have just played really good defense for that long and cut him off really good. Right here, once again, cutting off that baseline. We're ready for those hop backs. We're cutting him off again, getting bump animations. He's out of adrenaline now, and we're all over him. And as you can see, still getting bumps, getting forced pickups with 0 defensive assist. It's plenty good. Trust me, this is a really, really good loadout to run. I'm going to let you guys keep on seeing the clips because like I said, this is kind of what we're here for in today's video more than anything. So this clip I absolutely want to break down. Good reactionary defense. Look at this stuff. I'm just going with him side to side. Cut him off right there. There for the hop backs with the hands up, all types of stuff like that. We're able to react and get cut off the spot for before he even gets there. That's the major key when it comes to playing these rim runners and stuff as well. As you can see, I kind of get beat right here. He ends up just doing a quick stop. I kind of get a little baby bump right there that kind of knocks him off his path, and then I still try and beat him to the spot right there. And as you can see, very good reactionary defense. I really do think that it's all about your speed when it comes to how you move on this stuff, and the bumps can happen on their own. You will see even a bump steal that we even get as well off just cutting people off as well. Now this one right here, I got a chase down. I probably should have just left this in, to be honest with you, because I got a chase down and then he has no adrenaline off the block as well, and I'm able to just completely body him up. But once again, the absolute bump animations you can still get with this stuff. It's really, really good. Right here, he tries to hit me with a hop back off rip. We're on that stuff. Once again, baiting the jump shots into the 7% contest. I believe this one is actually another baited jump shot as well. I mean, it's just something that I like to do, and you're gonna see it in my techniques video a lot. Baited jump shot, once again, 14% contest. People love to do the hop backs, people love to do the rim runs, the quick stops, the stop and go, all types of stuff like that. I mean, you're gonna see it so much. They're gonna do hop backs, they're gonna do the stop and goes. This dude, he's not really doing a whole lot, to be completely honest with you, but either way, good defensive movement, good reactions. We're able to go for the jump right there. He's still not in position. He's gonna hit the walk back, bait the jump shot. Once again, great defense. I really absolutely do love this 0 defensive assist strength. I can't play without it anymore. And then again, another baited jump shot as well. Also, this was going to be my defensive tips video, but I figured we could show you guys a couple interesting things as well. It's not to do with controller settings, but I do want to give you guys a really, really great tip right here as far as what you can do on defense to actually help your arrows. And this also correlates to defensive assist strength, because when you have your arrow on the wrong guy, it's going to troll you so hard on defense. You're going to be moving in really bad ways. You're not going to be getting cutoffs as good. It can help you in some situations too, where the other team can't screen you as good. That's a complicated one though, and I don't really want to have to explain it. But let's talk about the arrow switching. Now, in the past, I used to just keep it as simple as this. You could just flick your right stick in the direction of the person that you are now trying to guard, but thankfully, due to YouTube and comments and just people spreading really good information to me through those comments, even though I see really stupid stuff in here a lot, but I do see the really game-changing good ideas and suggestions from like chat, whether it's like through live stream or comments. Now, if you tap your right bumper or R1, once again, the same thing that pulls up your icons. If you tap your right bumper and hit the icon of the person you're trying to switch to, in this case, it's A button, you will instantly get an arrow switch just like that. And you're going to see me do it multiple times right here too, whether they run screens and stuff like that. And now I'm like, okay, I'm trying to set up on the other guy. Right here, you can see I pick him up. I'm literally changing my RB icon back to B. Now I'm back on ball. I'm changing it back to RBA. Now I'm over here on this guy. If he would have stayed on me, I was going to change it. And as you can see, I did RBX. If you know the icon of the person that is like on the court and where they are and stuff like that too, you can get your arrow switched instantly every time. And this is huge for pick and roll defense, huge for pick and pop defense for the people that try and fish for those mismatches and stuff like that off the pick and pops. You can play full sides defense and just switch your arrow instantly. Even if you're maybe in stage and you can, I don't even like that I'm giving the stage head this type of information, because they're gonna like act like they never even heard it from LakerFan in the first place. Mr. Invalid. The whole stage community really probably just hates me at this point anyway, but nonetheless, this is gonna be huge for them because they line up with the 2 as a lockdown, and every time they can just hit RBA. Simple as that. Boom, you got your arrow on the point guard. Straight like that. So I just wanted to show you guys this clip, and we'll maybe run it back one more time once again just to show you how everything works. I'm coming off the dunk, RBA, boom. ASAP. And then as you can see, I get the arrows. I'm the lockdown that is now guarding the point guard. This works for stage, pro-am, all types of stuff like that, rec center as well. This is actually where I got the recommendation, was rec center. And shout out to whoever said it. I don't really remember, to be honest with you, but either way, it's really a huge addition and huge to know. But like I said, off this pass to Zeke and I pick up the drive, RBB. When the point guard gets the ball back and I'm running to him, RBA. When the big man catches it, and maybe if he were to hold on to that or something like that, I'm switching again, RBX. This goes such a long way, and I cannot stress enough, and it pairs really good with the defensive assist string being on 0 as well. Now, if you want to turn your Huda guard off, you can, but I will say, if you do this little mechanic right here, because this all intertwines with controller settings again, and a lot of people would recommend to just turn Huda guard off. I don't believe in that. I think it still screws you over. I think it still pulls you in those ways where you will get like the arrow malfunction even if the game's not showing it to you. This is so much better, and if you turn Huda guard off and try to do this, it's gonna be really troll. You're not gonna be able to see if it changes or not, and you're gonna be doing a lot of just random BS stupid things, and it's gonna be trolling your teammates even worse too, because if they have their arrows on, you're affecting their arrows at that point too. So long story short, I'd recommend to keep Huda guard on, and you can just use this arrow changer and stuff like that too with the right bumper and tap the button of the person that you want to guard. It requires a little bit of sweating though, to be honest with you. You have to be pretty locked in and know who is which between all the matchups. It's pretty easy though if you can remember your teammates' icons and then just the person that they were supposed to guard. It's probably as simple as that. Real quick, to come back to the controller settings one last time before we end it. Defensive assist on 0. Absolutely. I prefer to keep Huda guard on, and then I have the pass target openness all the way up to 98 because that's as far as it can go. Again, I prefer to just icon pass every time regardless. The only time I would do directional is if it's just the obvious pass that maybe someone's right there on my wing right next to me, or it's maybe a situation where I caught the ball on a pick and roll, I can't see the wings, and I just have to hit my A button and just hope the game figures it out because someone's wide open on the wing, but my camera is even zoomed out when I play in this game as well. Also, if you want to check that out, actually, I'll go ahead and show you guys. Alright, so I'm going to load up a Play Now game real quick to see if this works in here, but long story short, you can copy all of the things that I do and just do it in your My Career. I know for a fact that doing it in My Career works. So if you go to camera, and as you can see, it actually has my settings saved, so this absolutely does work in like Play Now, I would assume. If you change the zoom, this is what it's set to by default. It's at 5. I don't know if the height is set to 5 as well. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Either way, I moved the height to 10 and the zoom to 1. As you can see, it gets as far zoomed out as possible. That is really convenient. I wouldn't recommend to do any of the like flip style to cut. It's really annoying. I would not suggest to do that. Fixed height, I wouldn't suggest either. Auto flip, wouldn't really suggest either. And the whole reverse angle, once again, wouldn't suggest it. Key zoom, not sure. I just leave all that stuff as is. You could play around with this on your own as well, but this does go a long way. And it's not controller settings, but it's still settings. And it definitely goes a long way toward your game. So I wanted to at least suggest this to you guys. If you do make any changes, you will see that it asks you if you want to save these camera setting changes. I'm not going to do that. I don't really want my settings to change at all. I would prefer to just stay at 1 and 10. That's how I like it. And it's really good for Pro-Am. It's really good for, I don't know if it does it in Park or not, to be completely honest with you, but you guys can be the judge of that. You can see my camera versus yours, so you can tell me if it looks different in mine. But anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to win 2,000 likes. If you made it to the end of the video, put Laker in the comments, search supports me all the way through. And stay tuned for that defensive techniques video, or maybe it's just going to be titled things nobody wants you to know on defense. It's generally what I do, but we'll see how I go about that. Definitely stay tuned for that though. We got a lot of tips in that video, and we're collecting more clips as well as I keep on going. But anyway, that's all. Hope you all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.